This animation shows a fully pumped system with two 2-port valves. This system uses two separate motorised 2-port zone valves to control the flow of water to the central heating circuit and the hot water circuit. The individual zones are controlled by a cylinder thermostat and a room thermostat. At a selected time set by the user, the programmer activates the S-plan system, calling for either hot water or heating, or both at the same time. The 2-port motorised zone valves open and water from the boiler circulates around both the primary domestic hot water and heating circuits, depending on which zones are selected. This system includes a boiler which heats the water, two 2-port valves which control the flow of water to the central heating circuit and the hot water circuit, a programmer which activates the system, a room thermostat and a cylinder thermostat which controls the valves, a circulator or pump to circulate the water, a system bypass. Pump pressure increases as the radiators turn off and the system produces higher resistance to the pumped water. An auto bypass valve detects this increased pump pressure and shunts the water directly to the return side of the boiler. When the hot water only option is selected, the hot water circuit 2-port valve opens via a signal from the cylinder thermostat, and the heated water then flows through to the domestic hot water circuit. When the cylinder thermostat detects that the desired temperature within the cylinder has been reached, the signal from the cylinder stat is stopped, so the motor is de-energized, and the spring in the motor returns the valve to the closed position. The sequence of operation for hot water is as follows. The programmer is set on hot water mode. The cylinder thermostat calls for heat. The hot water zone valve opens by a synchron motor rotating, which moves the rubber paddle, allowing water to flow. When fully open, a micro switch is made which powers the boiler and circulator. The circulator starts first and then the boiler fires up. The heated water is then circulated through the hot circuit to the cylinder. When the selected hot water temperature is reached and detected by the cylinder thermostat, the 2-port zone valve closes and prevents water flowing to the hot water cylinder. While the programmer is set to hot water mode, the temperature of the stored hot water will be controlled by the cylinder thermostat. When the central heating only option is selected, the central heating circuit 2-port valve opens via a signal from the room thermostat, and heated water flows through the heating pipework circuit and then to the radiators. When the room thermostat detects the required room temperature has been reached, then the demand for heat is satisfied and signal is terminated, and the zone valve falls back to the closed position and heated water stops flowing around that circuit. The sequence of operation for heating is as follows. The programmer is set on central heating. The room thermostat calls for heat. The CH zone valve opens by a synchron motor rotating, which moves the rubber paddle, allowing water to flow. When fully open, a micro switch is made which powers the boiler and circulator. The circulator starts first and then the boiler fires up. The heated water is then circulated through the heating circuit to the radiators. When the selected room temperature is detected by the room thermostat, then 2-port zone closes and prevents water flowing to the heating circuit, isolates the circuit. While the programmer is set to central heating mode, the temperature of the room will be controlled by the room thermostat as well as the thermostatic radiator valves. When the system calls for both hot water and heating at the same time, both 2-port motorised zone valves open and water from the boiler circulates around both the primary domestic hot water and heating circuits. When both the room thermostat and cylinder are satisfied, the pump and boiler shut down. In this condition, the system will only operate should either the room thermostat or cylinder thermostat call for heat. This is known as boiler interlock. Here you can see in detail how the valve works in this system. At this stage, there is no signal from the thermostat to the zone valve, so the valve is in the closed position and no heated water will flow to the circuit. The system water is isolated. There is now a signal from the thermostat to the zone valve, therefore the valve is now in open position as the rubber paddle is moved from the port and heated water will flow to the circuit. The synchron motor has rotated, moving the rubber paddle, freeing the flow of water and making or connecting the micro switch which activates the pump and boiler. The synchron motor is located in the head of the 2-port valve.